Hi, I'm Scott,
And I'm Luke.
and we're Android Guys,
Give us 5 to 10 minutes of your day
and we'll tell you about a product or service.
or an app that you might be interested in. Hey, this is Luke with the Android Guys podcast. Here with Scott. Scott, you are talking about a new earbud.
Yeah, so this is the OpenRock Pro,
Okay.
and these are from One Audio.
One Audio. We have used multiple products by them.
We have, yeah, and I've always been impressed with it. I think you have for the ones that you've checked out.
For sure.
These are part of a new line. I think it's considered a new line.
Okay.
This is the Open Pro, and these are a open ear air conduction style of earbud.
Okay.
So they kind of go over your ear
Mm-hmm.
and sit right up next to your ear, and they're adjacent to that bone conducting kind of thing.
Right. Yes.
But they are a little different.
Oh, these sound very interesting. Let's get into the nitty gritty of them.
Yes.
You are talking about the OpenRock Pro by One Audio.
Yep.
These are an open ear air conduction sport earbud.
Yeah,
That's a whole lot of words together.
It's a whole lot of words. It's a whole lot of earbud, though.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about how these work.
So these are the type of earbud that you would want if you're into sports,
Yeah.
if you're outdoors, if you're doing things, if you're training for marathon running, if you're hiking, if you're into, just spend a lot of time outside fitness.
Sure.
But they also work well for, in the office. They're
Right.
general wear around the house, commute, all that type of stuff. So these aren't strictly for that,
Yeah.
but these are IPX5 water resistant,
Oh, nice.
and they kind of fit nicely. They're, because of the open air kind of setting or design, you're able to kind of hear what's going on.
Sure.
So if you're working out in a gym and somebody walks up to you, ask you, hey, can I work into this? Or how much, how many more reps do you have? Or how much longer do you think you'll be here? You can hear that stuff without having to pull your earbud out
Yeah.
and say, excuse me, what'd you say to me?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be passive aggressive with these things on.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
Yeah. So they are the sweat, dust, moisture proof.
Yeah.
And so it's all the things that an athlete might look for, without being like earbuds that go into your ear. They're bigger.
Yeah.
They're individual. So one goes over each ear. They're not connected to each other.
Yep.
Where sometimes like bone conducting kind of have that wrap around your head.
Yeah. It's almost like a headset.
Yeah. So for those listening, don't have a picture of these in front of them. They kind of look a little bit like an older style, like original generation Bluetooth headset.
Yeah, like an old school Jabra headset.
Yeah. So you've got one in each ear. These sound surprisingly good.
Yeah, so that was the next question I had. The open air, I've done some reviews on some bone conducting stuff and kind of that technology, and it sounds surprisingly good because even though there's nothing actually like isolating the sound,
Yep. Yep.
And so I was interested, these sound good?
They do. Pretty well-rounded sound.
Nice.
And one of the things you run into with something like this design is the potential for a tinny kind of like focus on the high end.
Yes.
You don't hear a lot of bass or lows.
Right.
There's much more presence there than I expected to be.
Awesome.
And they just kind of have like a nice, layering between things. So it just kind of, it feels and sounds even.
Yeah.
And I tried a couple of different music genres.
Sure.
I did audiobooks, different things like that. So it works well for each of those.
Nice.
Couple of things about this. They have a 46-hour listening on a charge.
That's a ton.
That is a ton. And that's, I think, when you think of like somebody who's maybe, this is my workout headphones.
Sure.
Charge these things up, put them in your bag. You're going to have them all week long.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these are potentially twice the listening time of a lot of like standard headsets, right?
Yeah.
Earbuds right now.
Yeah. And price-wise, I'll jump straight to that. These are about $130.
Okay.
So when you're talking about $125, $150 earbuds,
Premium.
this is, those are leaning into the premium, getting into the plus features.
Sure.
These kind of, to me, punch above their weight considering the design of them.
Yeah.
They have, they're comfortable. They look bigger than they actually feel.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a learning curve with kind of how do these buttons work.
Okay.
Getting to kind of understand like what is a double click, how long is, those are, and that's par for the course on a lot of
you
headphones.
have that learning curve with almost every earbud that you use now.
Figuring out is like, what is a long press? You can't modify the presets.
Okay.
Which is one thing that other earbuds sometimes let you do with an app.
Sure.
Go in and change, like, what does this earbud do if I double tap it or click that? Skipping a song, you have to kind of press and hold it for like a second and a half. It's kind of a weird, not quite a long press.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, a little bit interesting for me.
Sure.
But again, if you have if you have a playlist on shuffle and you're out running or just working out, you're not messing with that stuff anyways.
Right.
They have some quick charging capability.
Okay.
So if you do forget, hey, I'm getting ready to go do a workout and I forgot to charge these things, you can plug them in for 5 minutes and you're going to get about an hour of playback out of it.
Out of 5 minutes charge?
Out of a 5-minute charge.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that is definitely something to consider. They have a USB-C cord. It's USB-A on the other end.
Nice.
You plug it right into the case.
Oh, cool.
Now, let me tell you about the case.
Okay.
This is not a case you're going to want to carry around in your pocket.
Yeah.
This is the one I showed you.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a big egg. It's kind of
an egg is a very good representation. It's a little bit flattened slightly.
It's like a swollen river rock.
Yeah. Yeah, like think of like the Pebble phone from early 2000s. It's like that.
And then you kind of inflate that a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how you make a case for these really any other ways.
Sure.
It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a poor design.
It's a unique design.
It's a unique design and it's a big case.
Yeah. You're
not going to have this in your pocket while you're running.
No.
That's where you're going to be like, these things are a pain in my butt to have. These are huge. It's actually the case. Other than that, I think these are great. You're going to get almost 20 hours of listen out of the earbuds without having to put them back into the case.
Nice.
So if you keep these things charged, you're going to be able to use them, most of a week, if not a full week.
Yeah.
Without having to break a sweat. And they've got support for different audio codecs. 16 millimeter drivers.
That's pretty big size.
That's why they sound so good.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. Normally with earbuds, some of those you get into like 12 millimeter, 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 16 doesn't sound like that much difference on paper.
Of a jump. Yeah.
But it makes a big difference in the sound.
That's cool.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. I don't know if this is like a one-off for them or what the OpenRock is, if it's going to be other models down the road. These are they come in a black and then they also come in a silver.
Okay.
The silver look to have almost like a polish to them.
Yeah.
And have like an orange, like the OpenRock.
Yeah,
branding.
there's almost some like chrome accent.
Yeah.
Ish.
I've only seen the black, but I like these things and I would definitely recommend them. I just say, hey, keep an eye. Buyer beware on that case. And if you're going to be using it,
you're definitely going to want to keep it in a bag or something.
Yeah. Other than that, that's a quibble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, these are the OpenRock Pro, and the company is One Audio.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.